Hello and welcome back to another We Ourselves video. And today I want to look at this article which was published on Polygon, and the title is Star Wars: The Skeleton Crew Trailer Gives Us Our First Look at Jude Law as a Jedi. And the article is pretty much simple. It goes in and it talks about the influences, the directors that are going to be coming in, and how it really has those Amblin vibes. And so as I'm watching this, it definitely has those vibes. And the article, like I said, was simple, but I want to use it as a way to just provide my comments on the trailer. I'm looking forward to this. The first thing I thought was it looks like they're going to take their time to set us up and let us learn about this pocket of the vast Star Wars universe. Star Wars is not bankrupt of ideas. Maybe the people who are running it is, but the universe itself is very vast. I am an OG Star Wars fan. I am also a fan of the expanding universe. I have read the novels and I've seen all the movies and I've seen all the shows and all of this stuff. And so for me, I know that there are stories to be told and there are stories that have been told and haven't been adapted. So I look forward to what I'm seeing in the trailer is them setting you in this 1980s suburban Amblin type situation where you get to see their personalities and you get to see how these normal sentients in the Star Wars universe live. And to me, it reminds me of what Andor was able to do. Aside from Andor and Mon Mothma, you had all new characters, and we took time to establish their lives where they live, their little corner of the Star Wars universe. What motivates them. And now that you care about the characters, you care what happens and you go on the journey. I'm hoping that this is what it's going to look like. I'm excited about it. I like the cinematography. I like the special effects we've seen. I like that feel that reminds you of the E.T. and Goonies. You have these more or less suburban kids coming together and they're going on this fantastic adventure. And I have to say that it also gives me the vibes of Star Trek Prodigy, where you had a group of young people find a ship, somehow get it started, but in their case, they have a hologram of Captain, or I think it's Admiral Janeway from the Star Trek series Voyager. She shows up as a hologram to help them learn to pilot the ship and hopefully get it back to a quadrant of the Star Trek universe where they can get help. So this show really reminds me of that. Obviously, it's going to be aimed at a younger audience, so I hope us old head Star Wars people don't come charging in and doing our videos and talking about how it's destroying Western civilization because it doesn't fit your ideal of what Star Wars should be. It's for a younger generation. And I have to say this here. As someone who's worked as a creative producer, doing cable access programming and doing educational programming, and actually doing programming that was geared towards the community and families and stuff, I understand the need for having these different types of shows aimed at different people, even if I personally don't feel it's for me. I watched Clone Wars, but I didn't necessarily like Star Wars: The Resistance. It was really aimed at a younger audience, but I'm okay with that because Marvel and Disney and Pixar and Star Wars and Star Trek, all of these things are trying to act like a traditional channel, which has programming. And that programming is meant to hit a broad audience. You literally can't show the same show over and over and over again. And yes, I know we have specialized channels like Law and Order and stuff like that. And so you have these court TV and things like that. But even there, the judges and everything, they have to be characters and they have to be different, which is why people tune into one and maybe not the other one. But I get having program that's targeted for a younger audience that adults may not necessarily get. And so I'm happy to see them do this, even if eventually I feel like, okay, it's really for kids and it's not for me. I'm going to be fine with that. And I'm hoping that the shows and the movies are good because I want good stories and good entertainment. Again, even if it necessarily isn't targeted for me, this looks like it's going to be quality. It comes off that way, and I think Jon Watts is going to be able to really accomplish that. I'll watch the first episode, obviously, and I'll give a review, but if it's something that I'll continue to watch, then definitely I will be doing reviews of the episodes and of the series. But from what I see, it really does have that Amblin Entertainment vibe, and if they hold with that, if they make the kids front and center, and if, bringing in Jude Law as this Jedi who survived the Purge, then this is going to be fine. I expect that the usual suspects, the usual channels, if they haven't done it yet, they're going to do it. They're going to complain about yet another Jedi that survived the Purge. I have a video where I talk about Lucas was the first one who had Jedi survive the Purge, and I have a link here for it. But it was the OG himself who from the very first movie had a prominent Jedi survive the Purge, and then in the second movie, they introduce you to Yoda, who we learn later in the prequels was in charge of the Jedi Council, and who Palpatine, the Emperor, botched an opportunity to kill him. And then the kids of his right-hand man comes back and crashes his whole operation. Because the story potential in a surviving Jedi is far more than you just wipe them all out. Not to mention that they are now witness to what happened before, which is what you got from Obi-Wan, because he could then tell Luke and us the story of the Jedi. So having Jude Law as another Jedi who survived and is in hiding, I am all for that, because in the real world, survivors of a purged religious order, they always go into hiding. That's why we have this mixtures of different religions and stuff. You know, they have a term for it, synchronization, where you combine your original beliefs, which are now outlawed and can get you put to death, you change it so that it synchronizes with the accepted religion of the day, or in the case of places that don't hold with religion, you just say that you're atheist, but you have your practices that you keep with yourself. That is real life, folks. Not that every single person of a religious order, which is what the Jedi were destroyed. So I am totally fine, but I expect the usual suspects are going to have their complaints and they're going to gripe that yet another Jedi survived and they're destroying Lucas's legacy. No. Lucas himself set up that story potential. So I'm all for it. I look forward to it. And maybe I'm being naive, but I come to all these shows, including The Acolyte, I come to all these shows excited and ready to see what's going to happen. I hope it does have the Amblin vibes. It does remind us of the 1980s, because you had some good, iconic movies that came out. And even though they had similar settings, each one of those movies were different. Gremlins was different from Goonies, which was different from E.T., which is different from Stranger Things, which is also channeling that 1980s spirit. So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all in. The trailer looks good, and I can't wait for it to come out. So let me know what you think. Are you going to watch it? Do you even care? Have you turned away from Star Wars because it's already destroyed your childhood? Whatever, just leave a comment. And as always, like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video.